Hello everyone, it's TIJR Toby and welcome back to another FM18 team guide, and today we go to the blue side of Manchester, for a Manchester City team guide in the Barclays Premier League. I've said it again, I've said it about 5 times this year, the Barclays Premier League. It's just the Premier League now, I can't get used to that. But anyway, let's get straight to the Man City team guide. Now first off, before any continuation, this man needs to go. In my opinion, Claudio Bravo is useless. He needs to go, he's 34, and he's worth 11.5 million. Just cashing on him when you can. I thought last year he was apparently meant to be a sweeper keeper, according to Guardiola. He was meant to be a ball-playing goalkeeper. For goodness sake, the goalkeeper's there to save goals, not to play as an outfield player. I thought that philosophy was a little bit mad. But it seems that the new option, Edison Moraes, is a really good player. So I'd keep hold of him. But you definitely need a backup goalkeeper I'll look for a little bit later in the episode. Now, of course, you've got real good depth and real good players. You've got immense players, some of the best in the league. You've got De Bruyne, Aguero, Gundogan, Silva again, Company, Sane. We've got Mendy as well. We've got Edison. We've got so many good players. And we've got so many young players as well that are coming through. The likes of Jesus, Sane, Sterling, Silva. So you've got a really good save to go for on Manchester City. And I reckon it's probably out of the clubs, the easiest club to win the league with. But in terms of dynamics, let's have a quick look at dynamics before we have a look yet. So in terms of the hierarchy, you've got Silva, Company and Aguero as your team leaders. A bit of a sort of pattern we've got in this series. The team leaders are players who have been at the club for a while and are the captains and know their way around the club. We've got other players as well. We've got the likes of Edison, Danilo, who have just joined the club, and I'm sure, and Mendy as well. I'm sure when we get to sort of further on in the save, you'll be able to see that the players changed to influential players and all that sort of thing. The players might be a little bit angry to seeing that Claudio Bravo needs to go because he's a highly influential player, but if you can deal with that, then you should be fine. Let's get straight onto the scouting then with the 6 players I believe I've done this time. Yeah, there's players that you might be able to sign. I picked out 2 centre mids, 2 goalkeepers and 2 left backs because it was worrying me in terms of left backs that, as you've probably seen in real life, now Benjamin Mendy's injured, they're having to play Fabian Delph, which probably isn't a title-winning left back. I don't mind Fabian Delph, but to be a regular left back, questionable. It's not even his natural position. So, the 2 left backs we'll start with first because I've just mentioned him, and now the player that everybody's talking about on FM, seems that Arsenal have signed him in every save I've done so far, Kieran Tierney, the young lad from Scotland, Celtic. He's only 20, and he's a key player from Celtic, but let's be honest, Celtic aren't going to have much power to keep him. He's 10.75 million, he's quite versatile, can play on the left, and can sort of play on the right, and in the end of the day, he's only 20, so can improve, and as you can see, brilliant work rate, brilliant teamwork, and just look at them stats. There aren't many stats there that aren't too impressive. Okay, his marking's not brilliant, but he's got solid pace, solid stamina, solid strength, something that he complains about here, that there's not really a lot of strength and work rate, and he just fits the bill for that. So I think he'd be a really good backup player if anything. You want to send him out on loan, you can do, I suppose, but he's going to be a better backup option than Fabian Delph anyway. You've got 80 million to start with, so I'm sure you can afford Kieran Tierney quite easily. A more senior option maybe for that left back, even though it'll be quite tricky to keep him as a backup option because he's a solid player, is Juan Bernat at Bayern. I don't think he's their first choice because he's only a rotation option, so their first, I should really know this, but their first choice, oh yes, of course, David Alaba, if I can get my words there. He is out for 2 to 4 weeks, hence why they're playing Bernat there at the friendlies, but honestly, it'd be a brilliant signing with Bernat, 24 years old. If we just compare him to Benjamin Mendy quickly, if I can find him anywhere, Benjamin Mendy, he is there, bro. If you compare the 2 players, okay, Mendy's better at defending and his physical's better, but he's got better speed as Bernat, and he's got better vision, better attacking, better technicals. Okay, Mendy is a lot better in the air, but as a rotation option, Bernat would be really solid, and to rotate the 2 of them to 2 young left backs would be really good for the squad, and I think Bernat would probably be the best signing, but if you want a bit more youth, I'd go for Kieran Tierney. The next position you've got to have a backup in is goalkeeper, in the fact that obviously Claudio Bravo he's going to leave the club if you do what I say. Joe Hart, you might be able to bring him back from West Ham, but his form's just gone diabolical. I felt that Guardiola was wrong to get rid of him in real life, but ever since he has, his confidence has really been knocked. So if you want a new young English goalkeeper, the obvious one is Jack Butland from Stoke. Real solid player. Again, Stoke aren't going to have that much in power to keep Jack Butland, but it might be a hefty price, sort of 30 million price tag. But he's only 24, he's got lots of time to improve, and if Edison gets injured, then it's a player that definitely you can use as a goalkeeper for the whole season. It's obviously just going to be tricky, though, to keep Butler as a rotation option, but he's only on £35,000 a week. I'm sure, like many players, not saying it's just Butland, but I'm sure like many players now, if you offered him £70,000 a week, he'd jump at the chance to sit on the bench. But he's got great goalkeeping, great aerial reach, great handling, and all that sort of stuff, and I just feel that Claudio Bravo needs to go. Leverkusen's Bert Leno is then the second option. He's a key player for Leverkusen, and again, it's not one of the big clubs, so I'm sure that you could price him away quite easily. He's played 200 games already in his career. He's only 25. He's already played 200 games in his career for Leverkusen, so he's really experienced. He's played 57 for Stuttgart, the second team as well. So it just shows that he's an experienced player, even though he's only 25. His aerial reach isn't quite as good, his handling's better, and his one-on-ones is better, and his reflexes are really good as well. He's got some solid stats. He might cost you a little bit more, but it all depends what direction you want to go down in the end of the day. If you just want the one goalkeeper of Ederson at the risk that he might get injured, sure. But if you want to get rid of Ederson and Bravo, why not get rid of both of them? You can sign Butland or Leno, or even both. Who knows? Let me know how you get on with those signings. Another position really that sort of needs strengthening a tad is the centre mid. There's obviously got a massively brilliant squad in depth of Man City, but obviously Yaya Touré's getting on a bit. If we just look at the squad quickly, Yaya Touré's getting on a bit, Fernandinho's getting on a bit. We've got Gundogan, who's in the prime of his career, but then you've got the likes of Silva, who is getting a bit older. So I think we do need another centre mid just to make the squad a bit more solid. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is another English player, Jack Wilshere. Now, will Arsenal want to sell him? I don't know. I tried to sign him on my Liverpool one, and they wanted 66 million. A little bit bonkers, but I wouldn't go for him yet. Maybe in January or the end of the season. And honestly, Jack Wilshere, I think on his day could be really good. I remember that Champions League games a few years ago, when he did really well against Barcelona, and sort of after that he's been really injury prone. He's kind of like Daniel Sturridge in that way, but I think he's a better player than Daniel Sturridge. He's quite versatile, can play easily as a centre mid or an attacking midfielder, and can be a backup option as attacking midfield and a first team option for centre mid as an attacking playmaker. As you can see, he can play most of the positions required as a duty in the centre mid, and I think he'd be a solid player. It would cost you about £30,000 though, and what I have noticed actually, if Arsenal don't sign him up to a new contract, you can always get him on an end of contract deal. The other player I just thought of actually whilst talking about end of contract deals is of course Alexis Sanchez. His contract ends at the end of the season for Arsenal, so if Arsenal don't extend that, I would be right on his case to sign him. Even though obviously that you still have got solid depth on the sides of the wings, I wouldn't blink for a second in signing Alexis Sanchez. I can't get onto Kevin De Bruyne here. Obviously he's not as good as a player Kevin De Bruyne, but as you can see, his mentals are better, his aerials are better, his attackings are better, his speed's better, his physicals are better. But obviously, De Bruyne isn't quite as old yet, but honestly, these two together at Man City, if you don't win the league, you need shooting. But Alexis Sanchez would be a really good option as well, out on that wing. You've also got Emre Can from Liverpool, the first player from Liverpool I've actually recommended any of these. And Emre Can, as you can see, amazingly versatile. He can play defensive midfielder, centre mid, he can pretty much play any position on the centre apart from the striker win, and really all his stats light up green, which is really good apart from his acceleration. But as a centre mid, do you really need that? Debatable. Or a defensive mid if you wanted to play sort of a 4-1-2-2-1 or something like that, or a 4-5-1, as it's probably better known. But Emre Can would be a really good option. I'd probably go for Wilshere. His contract also ends at the end of the season, does Can. So obviously you've got a few players, you know, their contracts end at the end of the season. If you want to take the risk to wait until the end of the season, then you can do. But of course, if their contracts get extended in January, you're a little bit buggered in that way. Let's have a quick look at dynamics. I think I've already looked at this before. But obviously you've got your new signings and those sort of people there. You've got Kyle Walker, who they've also signed as well, who is going to be a real solid player out on that right back position. In terms of tactics with Man City, then I'd probably rotate between a 4-1-2-2-1 or a 4-5-1 as it's more commonly known, and a 4-2-3-1 with Kevin De Bruyne playing either as an attacking midfielder or a centre mid. Kevin De Bruyne really is one of your main players. If we just have a look, he's not too brilliant as a centre mid, but if he could play as an advanced playmaker on support, he'd be solid. The likes of Aguero needs to be in your squad every time. Jesus as well, and there's going to be a lot of players moaning that they're not getting enough first team football unless you do rotate them a lot, and you've got a lot of good players in this squad, so you've got a really good squad here, so I think you need to use it very, very wisely. Other players maybe to get rid of, obviously Yaya Touré's not in his prime anymore, keep him for a year, and when his contract runs out, save yourself £190,000 a week and get rid of him. And then Fernandinho, 32, obviously in the next few years you might want to look at getting rid of him. I'll probably sign a new contract for him though, he's 32, he's got a few years left in him yet. And then, well, offload him if you need to. Then you've got David Silva, who's still a brilliant player. He's already 4 stars and a superb rating for the first team. He's still got 2 years left on his contract, so you don't need to worry about that too much. And then, of course, you've got your main 2 players, in my opinion. You've got Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne. You need to keep hold of these two. Aguero on a long-term contract, and De Bruyne also on a long-term contract. So you shouldn't need to worry, but as long as you keep them two, you should be fine. Anyway, that concludes the 4th TV guide. I keep just saying wrong random words here. That concludes the FM18 team guide of Manchester City. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Further FM content, including Liverpool beta save, RB Leipzig saves, and even a save of my local team, Hensford Town, in the proper game. Let me know how you get on in your Man City saves, whether you win the league. If you get sacked, don't tell me. You probably get a little bit embarrassed in the comments. Anyway, I've been TIJ. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again at 6 PM tomorrow night. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.